My two American states. My focus points. First, I will do the introduction of Texas and the introduction of Ohio, then move on to my cultural phenomenon in Texas and my cultural phenomenon in Ohio. Then I will compare them, and then there is a summary and then sources. Now, Texas lies in the regions the South and the Southwest. It is the second largest state behind Alaska. It is 268,581 square miles, or 696,241 square kilometers. The topography is varying from place to place, from enormous mountains to vast, fruitful prairies. The winters are cool and the summers are scorching. The name Texas is from the Caddo Indian word Texas, meaning friends or allies. Texas' motto is simply friendship. Its nickname is the Lone Star State. Austin is the capital. Other important and well-known cities are Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio. Texas is also the second most populous state after California. The total population is 27,695,284, and the number is from 2015. The ethnic composition was in 2012 38.2% Latino, 34.4% white, 11.6% black, 1.3% Asian, and 8.7% Native American. Texas is divided into 36 congressional districts. Each district elects a congressman or woman, and Texas has also 2 senators. The present governor is Greg Abbott, which you can see a picture of here. Ohio is part of the Midwest. Compared to Texas, it is a much smaller state by area. It is the 34th largest and has a total area of 44,825 square miles, or 116.96 square kilometers, which is about 1/6 of Texas. Even though it is the 7th most populous, with 11,594,163 people, and is the 10th most densely populated state, while Texas is ranked the 26th. Ohio's topography consists much of plains. The climate is cool winters and warm, humid summers. The name Ohio originates in the Indian word for good river. It has many nicknames: the Buckeye State, the Mother of Presidents, birthplace of aviation, and the heart of it all. Its motto is, with God all things are possible. The capital is Columbus, which is also the largest city. Other major cities are Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Toledo. The ethnic composition was in 2010 82.7% white, 12.2% African American, 1.7% Asian, 1.2% Native, and 1.1% other races. Ohio has 16 Congress members and 2 senators. The current governor is John Kasich, which is on the picture. When I think of Texas, pictures of cattle, hot summers, and cowboys comes to my mind. Now, the cowboy, which is my cultural phenomenon in Texas, has become a part of the American soul and is a symbol of Texas. Something there was about him, tall in the saddle, alone, facing danger, one man against nature's vast, treeless plains and humanity's outlaws. This appealed to the people and made the cowboy a folk hero, a half-real, half-mythological symbol of the American West. The cowboy had his beginning in Texas. There cattle grew wild with few natural enemies. By the end of the Civil War, there were an estimate of 5 million of them. The motivation was the high price of beef up north. Indians and farmers who resented cattle trampling their crops protested their passage. Outlaws stole the cattle and were not afraid to kill the men driving them. Driving 1,000 to 2,000 cattle hundreds of miles to market, facing danger from nature and humans, the cowboys dominated the American galaxy of folk heroes. Even their dress inspired envy. The cowboys' hats were high crowned with wide, floppy rims, the bandana handkerchief tied around the neck, the colorless, ordinary shirt and trousers were of flannel or wool. They often wore a vest with a number of useful pockets, and of course one of them which held tobacco and cigarette papers, and the boots with heels 2 inches high. Every clothing were absolutely practical, glorified in thousands of novels and hundreds of movies. The real cowboy and the legend are almost inseparable. Yet the reality is that the cowboy still exists because his work is essential to the industry. Though he may carry his horse in the trailer behind his pickup truck to the point where a horse becomes necessary, he may help his employer determine with a computer matters of feed, weight, and saleability. But he still dresses like a cowboy because the garb is practical. He understands the cattle and horses and gazes out upon the plains just as his predecessors did. Today in Texas, there are lots of tourist attractions, also preserved areas where you can experience the real cowboy feeling and be one yourself for a day. Even though Ohio is a rather small state, it is the state in the USA with most Amish people. There are 59,103 of them. To know why they live in exactly Ohio, you have to know their history. Amish history begins in the early 16th century with the Protestant Reformation. There was widespread discontent with the traditional church. Traditionally, in the Catholic Church, knowledge of the Bible came from the leader's interpretation. With the invention of printing press, Bibles became more available for everyone to study, and as they studied scripture, they began to question the church decisions. The Anabaptist movement was born. Church and state authorities recognized this new movement as a threat. They quickly declared that they were heretics and moved to wipe them out. The Amish history of persecution began. Some Amish decided to join other suppressed religious groups and seek freedom in America. A few of the eastern Pennsylvania Amish moved west before 1800. Holmes County, Ohio, saw its first Amish family in 1809. In 1816, there was a new wave of immigrants. This second wave of Amish settlers settled in Butler, Fulton, Stark, and Wayne counties in Ohio. Outsiders generally consider the Amish to be a backward people. The Amish history of stubborn resistance to modern technology, their strict religious practices, their lack of higher education, and, of course, their horse and cart lifestyle made them a subject to pity and confusion. Of course, the Amish cared little about the opinion of the outside world, since their entire culture is based on separation from worldly sin. The Amish are growing faster than ever. There are nearly 251,000 Amish in America and Canada, according to Ohio State University researchers. The researchers estimate the number will double to 500,000 in 21 years. And much of the growth has to do with the fact that more Amish children are staying with the religion and starting their own family, with an average of six children per household. This makes a problem, as one and all families have a farm and a plot of land. That is the way the Amish lives, and it becomes difficult for them to find an available and suitable area for farming, close to their fellow Amish friends and family. The Amish family is very traditional. As the leader of the family, the man makes all the decisions in regard to the family, farm, and household. Although marriage is a partnership, the wife must be submissive to the husband. Yet, of course, the degree to which the husband includes his wife in the decision-making varies from family to family. The Amish woman must be an excellent manager. She is the head cook and seamstress. She must also take care of the garden, which is quite important because they try to eat as much homegrown food as possible. The grandparents remain a vital part of the family as a source of knowledge and contribute to the family in many ways. Comparison of the cultural phenomena. In this assignment, I thought to take two cultural phenomena who are so different in every way and then compare them. And I think I did that by picking the cowboy culture in Texas and the Amish culture in Ohio. And to make this easy to follow, I tried to put on the points I will talk about. First, the differences and clothes. Now the cowboy is almost a fashion icon with the boots, the hat, bandana, everything. However, the Amish does not make a fashion statement at all. They wear dull, prudish clothes in boring colors because they shall not call attention. They do not even have zippers on the clothes. Family. One of the traits of the cowboys are the loneliness, just them and the nature. They are lone wolves, and it must be difficult having a family when traveling months at a time away from them and knowing it will be dangerous and there is a chance that one might never return. And on the other hand, there are the Amish, where only God comes before family. As mentioned earlier, the average family has 6 children. It is not only personally important for them, but also economically, and they need a lot of workers on the farm. Reputation. The cowboys are adored. Little boys and girls want to dress up like them at parties and become cowboys when they grow up. And which man does not want to be like Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad, the Ugly? The Amish, however, are almost alien for modern normal people. Who throws away the benefits the benefits a modern society gives? Who show technology their back and choose horse carts, hard manual work, and attractive clothes, all to be pious and for God? This is very strange for us, as what we do not understand we often dislike or even fear. How the cultures were born. The cowboys were a consequence of people wanting to make more money. When the cattle owners found out that the cattle needed to go north and to be sold there, they needed someone to guide them there. That was when the cowboy were created. On the other hand, the Amish were created as a consequence to a religious rebellion against the Catholic Church. They did not approve of the old ways and made their own more righteous way. Growth. Cowboys belong mostly to the past, while the Amish grows stronger than ever. Although, very surprisingly for me, there are similarities. They both belong to the past. Even though there are still cowboys in Texas, the era of the cowboy is in the past. The modern world provides ways more efficient and cheaper. Just as the Amish way of life belongs to the past, they have chosen not to develop their way of doing things, and therefore they still belong to the early 1900s. And clothes again. Yet they are very different, yet both way of dress has become their distinctive trademark. How do you tell an Amish woman from a modern woman? How can you tell if a man is a cowboy? Well, their clothes tell us who they are. And last, they are both very fond of horses. Summary. I chose Texas and Ohio because they are so different and unique in their own way. Texas, big and bold, Ohio, more smaller, gentle. And I learned so much from this assignment, especially about the Amish people and their history and how they live. Before, I couldn't possibly understand why on earth they live the way they do, and I knew nothing about them. Now I understand much more and have more respect for their way of life. As for the cowboys, I thought they were awesome before, and I still do. Thank you for listening. Yeah. These are my sources. In Texas, Ohio, these are my cowboy sources, my Amish sources, and my picture sources.